Hello, everybody. Betsy Watzel for WinterWarriorsLive.com. I'm joined by Coach JKeiser of the Winter Lady Warriors volleyball team. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. A couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, in fact, when Jody interviewed you, the Lady Warriors were sitting at 5-0, had just come off the triangular with Valentine and Ainsworth. Kind of a slower schedule there to start the month. Recap quickly, we had Bennett County, and then the following week, Lyman County. Those were, Bennett County was 3-0. Lyman County, just recap that a little bit maybe. Kind of gave you a surprise there in that third set, I believe it was.
Yeah, I thought we kind of just played. We didn't mentally come ready to play from the very beginning. I think we saw the JV, Lyman's JV, and they couldn't get the ball back over the net. So I think mentally they kind of thought that was going to be their varsity too. And I feel like we just kind of came out going through the motions, figuring we're going to go out with the win. And Lyman was very scrappy. They wouldn't let anything hit the ground, and so they were tipping everything over. Everything was coming back over, and I just kind of felt that we played more their style of ball than ours. And we've kind of talked about that all year long, that we just need to go out and dominate. I don't care if they're a Miller. I don't care if they're an 0-6 team. We just need to come out and play our style of game. And so, I mean, we got the win, but took a loss in the set. And I think it was kind of a learning experience, kind of a wake-up call that, just because we're maybe seeded or ranked in the state, that doesn't mean that teams are going to really just lay down and die for us. We have to show up and play. Saw that some younger freshmen, or some younger classmen, freshmen, sophomores, they kind of stepped up and really played when I needed them, which is good to see. So then I can throw them in high pressure situations, and they'll be ready to play. So some goods from bads from that whole match, but learning experience, and like I said, found out I can trust some people to come in and get some things done.
After Lyman, you had the rest of the week off, and then we got ready for the Big Dakota, which was held last Saturday in Fort Pierce. It is every year. First two matches against the Stanley County team that, probably better than their record shows, and a Shining Butte team that, being there, I was kind of impressed with. Really kind of gave you guys fits there in that second set. Just recap those two matches real quick.
Yeah, it's kind of, like I said before, we need to mentally prepare better. I can tell them as much as they want, but when they know, their record and things like that, it's hard for them to come out ready to play. So that's something like what we got to work on. But Shining Butte got a new coach. Their old coach was pretty good, but they got a new coach, and I thought she did a very nice job with them. And we were kind of up and down. We kind of made a lot more errors, but in those matches, I also tell them when we're up by quite a ways or up by a ways, try things that you won't get to try when it's a really close match. So they were doing some of those things, which you're going to have more errors on that. I was afraid how we were going to go into Miller, which actually I thought we went into Miller really well. And we don't bring the intensity to some of those matches either. Like I said, when they look at their record, it seems like when we get together as a team and win a point, it's just like, yeah, more like, when we go against a Miller or a Burke or something like that, then they get really intense when they win a point. So we need to celebrate every point, no matter who it's against, who our opponent's against, what their record is.
And that was in the pool play part of the tournament with Stanley County and Shining Butte. You then advanced to the championship bracket, which really wasn't a surprise. You guys came in as the number 2 seed. Miller came in at the number 1 with the more power points. And then Chamberlain was the other team that advanced. And we got to see Chamberlain first, and then Chamberlain-Miller. Just recap that Chamberlain team, a team that's got a lot of height, and we're going to see them here in a few weeks up in their home gym.
Yeah, they had one really good hitter that right away we had a hard time stopping. Like I said, we just kind of came out flat again. They did it. Then she did a nice job blocking, which we just weren't really covering really good right away at the beginning, and so some fell. But like I said, it was good to kind of play good teams like that, or teams like that have blockers that we need to cover, things like that. And then second set, we really just came out and handled them. They kind of folded, I kind of thought. But, yeah, they were ready to play us right away. And like we said, we came out and made quite a few errors, which is thing we've talked about all year that we have to get better at. I mean, we cannot have those hitting errors. We cannot have those serving errors. Our passes have got to get halfway to target so we can get a chance and get a hit on it. So, but it seems like we make more of those errors against teams that we really shouldn't. But I guess, when we play the higher quality teams, we seem to kind of clean it up a little bit more. So I guess that's a plus.
Miller went on to beat Chamberlain, so it became the matchup everybody expected. Miller winner going for the Big Dakota Championship. They're the defending champs from last season, and you guys looked great. I mean, the first set was good. I mean, it was kind of like a heavyweight boxing match. One team would get up, the other team would come punching back. I don't know how many lead changes there were, ties, everything. You guys, in fact, trailed late in that first set and came back and won it 26-24 and really had a lot of momentum, looked really good. And then the second set starts out, we're real close, and then all of a sudden we build a 12-7 lead, and you could tell all the momentum was on our side, and then the injury to Alexis Ritchie really just, it was like a deflating balloon. And just talk about a little bit what you saw after that set. And
yeah, like you said, I really thought we had the momentum. We were down in that first set and came back, and we've kind of done that a few times actually this year to get the win, which is always see that we don't give up. We battled back to the very end. We got that win. I thought we had the momentum going into the second set at the beginning of the second set, and like you said, we built a 7-12 lead, and then Alexis went to hit it out of the back row, and it just seemed like the floor was kind of wet there. Her foot slipped out, and you knew it wasn't a good injury right away. She's a strong kid. She's not going to sit down if it's anything kind of minor. So, I watched it. I knew right away that it wasn't good. It wasn't looking good, and so I thought it really deflated us. We were just kind of lost. She is our leader. She is our go-to girl. She keeps our intensity. She keeps it positive for us. And we just kind of seemed lost out there. I thought, for the most part, we did a good job of, we stayed with Miller. Mm-hmm. But that leadership that wasn't there, that we count on all the time, just wasn't there. They were really worried about her. Maggie did a nice job of coming in and playing for her, but the irreplaceable part is her leadership that's really going to hurt. So, like I said, you can take some positives from it. I mean, it's a killer. It's something that you never want to see. Never did I guess I ever thought it would happen, and it did. So now we just kind of have to go on. And like I said, taking some good things from that. We stayed with Miller. Mm-hmm. Without Alexis, without our honorable mention All-Stater. So there's still hope. The season isn't over. We need to keep trucking away. The good news is we don't rely on one player. We're a complete team, and I feel that we still have a great season ahead of us and still have high hopes. Our goals aren't going to change. Nothing's going to change. Alexis, right now they say probably not going to come back. Like I was telling her today, I'm still holding out hope.
I think we all are.
Yeah, and the team is. But even if she's out on the court, even if she's on the bench, she's still going to be our leader. And she's still going to do whatever she can to get this team as far as they can, too. So we'll just have to rely on her more on the bench. We've tried some different situations, different scenarios. We got by Mobridge, by doing some things. But it's going to really come down to when we play a tough team that's going to really hit at us. If we can do it, and I honestly think we can. It might not be, it might take a few weeks to kind of get the gelling down. That's the bad thing, I guess, about volleyball, is that it really matters who's next to you and who talks and figuring out what they're going to get and what not, and just working together as a team. So we've kind of moved some girls around. Ellie and Morgan have always played left back in the back row, and Alexis has always played the middle back. So Woolbridge, they played middle back. They did a nice job. So like I said, it's not only getting used to the person next to you, it's getting maybe used to a new spot, a new position back there. But I believe we can do it, and it'll just, like I said, might take a couple weeks to kind of get some things down and figured out before we really start back up again.
Feeling comfortable to that point where you were before. Yep. And just to recap quickly, you guys did fall in 3 sets then to Miller, who they did repeat. as Big Dakota champions, but like you and I were talking quickly after that match, it wasn't the loss of the match. It's a big deal.
No.
You know, it's the losses are going to probably come. That'll probably get a little bit of target off these girls' back, but it was the loss of Alexis, not only her talent, but her leadership.
Yep.
And talking to her out here before we did this interview, she's chomping at the bit to play.
Yeah.
You can just tell. That's just how competitive she is. But she'll be their number one fan. She'll be on the bench if she has to be, or whatever she needs, like you said, to keep that team going and stuff. And it was a nice rebound. You turned around, went back up to Mobridge on Monday. Played a young Mobridge team that I think's got a pretty bright future ahead of them. A very beat up team, I understand. They've got a lot of injuries on that team, also. Unfortunately, part of the game. This weekend. Talk about being road warriors. You go to Mobridge on Monday, turn around. It's homecoming week now, so you've got that to deal with, and then Saturday, the Eastern Classic volleyball tournament this year being held in Sisseton. Going to be a long road trip. I think you guys are going to actually take off sometime on Friday, so you don't have to get up at 4 a.m. to be there. Go ahead and talk a little bit. I think your first opponent is the Webster area.
Yeah, we don't know much about Webster yet. We've never actually, this is the first year in their tournament. Elk Point Jefferson has been in the tournament since we have been coming, which I think we started actually in 2013 was our first year of being in this tournament. And so I was kind of excited and hopefully was going to get to see Elk Point Jefferson, but they, I guess, went out west and got out of this tournament, so Webster area came in. So we've never ever played Webster ever. So, I know the record says they're down, but like I said, those are kind of the teams that we seem to play down, so we need to come out ready to play from the very beginning and just take care of business, especially when it's only 2 out of 3. You just don't get that extra time to kind of waste. So hopefully we have some bonding time. We'll have a lot of bonding time on the way up, in the hotel, up and ready, and hopefully that we can come out focused, ready to play. It kind of, the good thing with these girls is they're wanting to play. We talked about how important these points are. We talked about, a couple years ago when we had to go to Millbank, we just completely fell apart and went up there and got 8. They were too more worried about homecoming and missing the football game and whatever. And the good news is these girls aren't like that. They're coming out ready to play volleyball. So hopefully that's the same case when we get up there on Saturday, that we're ready to play, because when we're in the Sweet 16 now, these seed points matter. And they can kill you if you're not ready to play. So hopefully we're ready to play. Hopefully we can come out with a win against Webster, and then we'll have either Tri-Valley or Millbank. Millbank made the state last year. They're down. They lost quite a few, but they just have a great program. So they're gonna want that win. And then also Tri-Valley. They've kind of had success in the last couple of years. They have a great program, so that they're going to become ready to play. So it doesn't matter who we have. We just need to be ready to play.
Of course, the defending state A champion will be there, Dakota Valley. I believe that was the very first year we went to this tournament. It was at Dakota Valley. They're a little down this year. Obviously, they lost a lot from last year's championship team, but sitting at 9-3 right now. I would think you and Dakota Valley have to probably be the favorites. Hopefully, a championship matchup. We'll see, I guess. Like you said, we've got to be ready to play every time. And then next Tuesday, a decent Todd County team coming to town. Another team that's got some great height. Watched them a little bit up to the Big Dakota. So schedule's starting to pick up a little bit too.
Yeah, that's always kind of good to see when you go into the end of the middle end of the season. You need to be ready to play. We need to play those more top caliber teams so that we're ready to play when we're going into the Sweet 16 and postseason. So. Yeah, Todd County has a new coach. They have some athletes. They're going to be ready to play. That'll be one of our last home ones before October, end of October. So hopefully we come out ready to play. It seems kind of when we play at home, we're kind of actually iffy because we're so used to being on the road that, they get kind of more nervous because they usually just have their parents in the stands at most matches anyway. So. We need to just be ready to come out and play on that Tuesday too.
Definitely the Road Warriors this year for the Winter Lady Warriors. Number 3 rated in the state. Jamie, thank you for taking the time. Safe travels this weekend. Jody will be covering you guys on Saturday. I'm going to be home for homecoming. But I'll be checking in, watching, and best of luck this weekend. This is Betsy Watzel along with Coach JKeiser for the Winter Lady Warriors for WinterWarriorsLive.com.